And
it's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show. Check it out. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show. Check it out.
Hey, well, welcome to Candid Conversations here on Oak 93.5 on your FM radio dial. Or perhaps you're watching us on Facebook Live or YouTube. Wherever you are, come in the comment section. Let us know you're here. And welcome to Candid Conversations. I'm your host, Lady T. But I have with me your girl, our girl.
This is your girl, JT. And listen, Tanisha said, let us know if you're here. Hello, Janelle. We're glad to see you here.
JB be in those comments, and we are here for it, girl. And we appreciate you. We appreciate everyone that tunes in Tuesday out, and even who supports us, Jay, when we do those impromptu shows. We just decide to hop on because we listen to you guys. And so here we are today. Before I get started, can you believe that we are mid-August? We're a little bit past mid-August, you all. Like August came in running like 80 miles per hour and clock at 80 for real. It's here. It's almost gone.
Good.
You said good. Who else feels that way? I'm sitting here like, Lord, slow down and talk. Jay like, good. Because some people are, I'm glad to see it come. I'm glad to see it go. It's fine. Do you all agree?
Yes. Hopefully you agree with me because I'm like 2025, put it in the trash. Where's 2026 at?
Okay. Yeah, right. I get that. So it's coming. As sure as God be God, we're here to see it. It will be here before we know it. 2026. I was laughing the other day, JT. I was like, I thought about a shirt I made for LJ some years ago. I was like, class of 2028. Jokes on me. We got like 2 years. My child is graduating.
Girl.
Crazy, y'all. Anywho, we're just glad to be here on today, right now, and with you guys. And I don't know if you saw what JT posted earlier. We're here to talk a little bit about some narcissism, narcissists. You know, it's a very popular word that we've been hearing. It almost became a trend word. And I'm thinking, before we heard that word narcissist, what do we call these people? What were they? Because some of these characteristics, they still listed up under narcissism, but we've been seeing this long before now. They say.
Yes. I think before the word narcissist became a trending word, I think we were saying that they were self-absorbed, right, conceited,
arrogant,
what's some other words?
Controlling, arrogant. Let's see. JB in the comments, what do you think, Janelle? But those are some of the traits that I saw in it. And when you look up the word, I looked up narcissism, right? And it said that it's a personality trait characterized by an excessive focus on oneself, often accompanied by a need for admiration. Yeah, controlling. Hey, Tammy, that controlling and manipulative. That's it for real. It says a need for admiration and a lack of empathy for others. So yes, I definitely think controlling was a big part of it. Manipulation is a big part of it. And it's ugly. Oh, got to be the center of attention and self-absorbed. Yes, all of that. And sometimes we think that narcissism or that narcissist is only in relationships. But do you know that parents can be narcissists, siblings can be narcissists? It's not just about a boyfriend, girlfriend, a husband and wife, or he, she. You know what I'm saying? So we can have been raised by narcissists, right?
Yes.
So that's what I found. God bless you, Pastor Tim Williams. Good to see you, Pastor. But yeah, so JT, have you ever experienced narcissism beyond the
Yes.
relationship? And I'm talking about like in, let's not talk, oh, selfish. Yes, Tammy, girl, self-absorbed. So you selfish, right? We had all these words that we described as narcissism, but the word narcissist became so popular within the last 5 years. People were giving them other things. Listen, Jay, give me some examples of how you've experienced narcissism or a
Where
narcissist.
where do I begin? Ugh. So y'all
Funny.
listen, a few seconds ago, she said, had I ever experienced it? Before she could get the sentence out, I cut her off and said, yes.
Yeah, quick like.
Oh gosh. But I unfortunately, a person who's a narcissist, they cannot help themselves. They lack, in my opinion, they lack self-control because everything is centered around them. It points to them. Their point of view never, they never take into consideration, other people. It's all about them. And yes, Janelle, they're never wrong. Even
Yeah.
when you are like, well, have you thought about this, or did you see your part in it? Nope, it's always someone else. It's never them. And so in professional settings, you deal with narcissists where they don't care about the team. It's all about self, no matter whose lives they are impacting, for the worse, because it's never for the better. Because
Mm,
it's all about you will do whatever it takes to get over and get ahead, no matter what the costs are. Narcissists don't count the cost. So I've dealt with it professionally, personally. It's hurtful when people are so self-centered that they never think about the implication of their actions and what it means to others, and how
right.
it tears apart a relationship, because it's all about how I feel and what it means to me, and me. And there is no, narcissists
Mm,
are dangerous people because they're in my opinion, their vantage point is always centered on themselves.
that's true. And that's what Pastor Tim and I think Janelle both made the same comments about them. And Janelle's correct. No self-control. Another trend, another characteristic is fragile self-esteem. Like their self-esteem, you kind of like have to walk on eggshells per se to deal with a person when they're dealing with narcissism, or when they're dealing with those traits of narcissism. Woo! But do you think, oh, no accountability, right? Because they tend to be gaslighters. I mean, that's one of our newer words as well, but they tend to be like, just gaslighters, take no accountability, almost make you feel like, wait a minute, maybe you're right. Knowing it well, that you didn't do that particular thing, but they're so convincing, and they're convinced. What I've learned? They are convinced about these things. You can say these things to them. No accountability. That should be on the top of the list because they take none, zero, zero. So if you've dealt with that, and like I said, it's not in just relationships. Well, it is relationships. But it's not just marital. It's not just boyfriend girlfriend. There's parents. There's, like you said, JT. They're on your job. We deal with them all the time. But do you all think that there's a deliverance? Can they be? Because I've been told, and of course, because I watch a lot of videos when I do have an opportunity, and so I see a lot of things come across my social media about narcissism, and people that say they were narcissists before, and they've been what is the word I'm looking for? They're no longer narcissists. They don't say delivered, but they say they are recovering narcissists. So this is serious. This thing is serious because they're in recovery. But when they're in recovery, they should leave people alone, right? They need to go heal and find a healing. But do you think that they can change? Ego is big and can't be hurt. Oh, the ego, the ego, the ego. Right. Can they change? And do you think that all of us have a little bit of that in us? Of these things that you all have been mentioning. God bless you, First Lady Tasha. Good to see you. Do you all think we're talking narcissism today? We're talking about narcissists and who and how we've met those people, and are we those people? We have those traits in us. Because I've been doing my research, and sometimes I'm like, ouch. I'm just saying, I'm not a narcissist, but I'm just some of this stuff. I'm like, okay. So have you ever found yourself in that? Have you ever? Have
I,
you?
you
Any of these
know,
traits?
That's a good
Any?
question. So we want to hear from y'all. Have you ever, Janelle says there's always deliverance. So
What if they're not a believer? They're just, you know what I mean? They're not a believer. Is it psychological? Like I read, okay, I'm going back to what I've read, that it's a personality trait. So do they need to see a therapist before they can become, you know what I'm saying? Tammy says, tend to turn the tables all the time, no matter how nice you are, and have valid points. Yes, that's
facts.
what it is. What I consider called gaslighting is table turning. Yes, you spin that thing back around, put that spotlight on someone else instead of yourself. You know
You
what I'm
better
saying? So
believe
you're
it.
right. Good point, Tammy. Hmm. It says that narcissism exists on a spectrum, and while some people may show narcissistic traits, they don't necessarily have a narcissistic personality disorder, because it's a disorder, y'all. It's called NPD, which is more severe and it's diagnosable. I mean, diagnosable. That's the word I'm looking for. It's diagnosable, so it's real. You know, when some people say, "Oh, that word, y'all just use that word to death." No, it's real. Hi, Max. Welcome. Max
Hey,
says their
Max.
own life trauma molds a narcissistic personality. Is that what it
That's
is? Is that what it is? Hmm.
You know what? I believe that. I believe that, some people have trauma and how they insulate themselves is they make everything about themselves and in some form, that may be protective. Um, However, right, it causes damage to others because it's all about you. I also hold that narcissists love themselves and everything about themselves. They love themselves more than they could ever care or love for someone else.
Mm. That's serious, and I believe it. I can say, when I heard the word being used so much, I had to start thinking about it. First Lady Tasha said, "Narcissism is a personality disorder." Exactly, it is, and it's not. There's help, people. Seek help because you really do make lives miserable, like miserable for others. But a narcissist seek help because they don't really know that they're really narcissists. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Is it possible with it is possible with therapy and Jesus. I agree, Janelle. And sadly, a lot of people don't see that they are narcissists, and so they don't seek either to help them because again, they're pointing those fingers at you because you're the problem, not them. Right? We're talking about narcissists. Sandy Rayford. Hey, Sandy, welcome, sis. Great point, Janet. NPD is heavily influenced by a combination of environmental factors and childhood experiences. Wow.
Wow.
Right. See, and it makes you have a little empathy for them, but my God, dealing with them could be something tragic for you. Like you personally would need some help. Dealing with the narcissist, especially in your personal life. You know what I'm saying? You're going to work with one, that's a little different. You know, you don't want to have to deal with them, but we do. We tend to do that. Yeah. Vicky, how do you feel like, I mean, if you, let's just, for an example, and we're just talking, y'all. We're just having a candid conversation. So thank you for tuning in and welcome. But you end up in a relationship with, hey, Casper, God bless you. Good to see you, lady. You end up in a relationship with one. It's to death do you part. Wow. What would you offer to someone like that? What can you say? You're in a relationship with them. It's still death do you part, right? Because y'all holy matrimony. What happens then? How do you survive it? Surviving a narcissist. Has anybody written that book yet? I tell you, I want to know. Kesra, she said, but there are hidden layers of low self-esteem and self-hate. That I believe. I believe that. JT, what say you? Can you hear me, Dan? Uh-oh.
The comments. It's the comments. It's the comments. Cynthia Adams writes, nothing is too hard for God, but the beginning is admitting that they have a
Cynthia,
problem.
what is I couldn't, I'm sorry. Repeat her comment.
Nothing is too hard for God, but the beginning is admitting that they have a problem.
Yes, right.
And
But
and and Tammy writes, is it a self-esteem problem? Being a narcissist?
Well, I think like under layers of it. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I do. I feel like it has something to do with self. I think at the end of the day, they have self-esteem issues. I really do too. I kind of believe that, but I gotta dig deep on that. That's a good question, Tammy. Let me dig on that. But Janet, if you're married to one, like I don't have any friends that have specifically told me they were, but I'm just wondering, what if you do end up in that type of situation? What would you? What?
I think you would be miserable because if you're married to a narcissist and everything revolves around them, nothing there's nothing you can do to please them because no, even your best will never be good enough because they're a narcissist. They want more, they demand more. Because it's like if you say I'm giving you $50 for 50 birthdays, it's like, well, am I not worthy of 100? You just
Right.
can't win with a narcissist.
My goodness. What about narcissist friends? Like, you know what I mean? Like your friend's a narc. I call them narcs. I like you, but I'm okay. Let me just talk narcissist. Your friend is a narcissist or have serious narcissistic traits. Um, what was son saying something? You want to read this?
Yes, we got to get
Okay.
into this because you asked a question and we
Yes,
got
I
an
did.
answer. So
Yes.
Kezra says, I was formerly married to one, a narcissist that led to domestic violence that almost ended my life.
My goodness.
So yeah, I think that when you're married to a narcissist, nothing you can do makes them happy. They're so self-absorbed. Again, it's a personality disorder with how they view the world, and in particular, how they view themselves. And they're always the victim, right?
Oh
It's
yes,
always
that's it.
somebody else's fault. You
Yes,
going back to the gaslighting or the table turning, you did this, which caused me to do that. And it's
yes.
your fault that I have no self-control and I responded this way.
So true, so true, so true. And Casper, thank God you survived that because that's nothing light to have been in a what they call DV relationship and survive. Thank God for that. And having been married to one, I can't imagine years of that. I can't imagine. Go ahead. Sandy said therapy is available, but narcissists do not embrace it like we do. They use it as an opportunity to manipulate the therapist to side with them.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh. Now, okay, hold on. We got to go there. Now,
Right.
this is not a medical opinion. We're just having a candid
That's
conversation,
it.
right?
That's it.
So a narcissist is absolutely a master manipulator because they manipulate facts, they manipulate people, places, and things so that
Yes.
that person, they're a wordsmith. They know how to tell a story in such a way that'll have you believing that, you know what, that really did happen. Even though my eyes saw something completely different, my
Yes.
ears are saying that you're right. And my
Right.
heart's agreeing with my ears and not my eyes. I mean,
Yep.
I,
Yep.
I don't know. But as a therapist, you would think that they are trained to be able to, see past those narcissistic tendencies, right? But
Right.
they are master manipulators.
Yes. Master manipulators. I mean, seriously, I've had dealings with them before in the past. Didn't know quite what I was dealing with until I started researching. I'm like, okay, knowledge is power. I'm checking off the list. I'm going down the list, and I'm like, well, if it's a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So if everything on that list says you, that's what you are, and then you need to deal with that. Don't get angry, but I've addressed it, and I've actually pointed it out. I've actually showed the list, and they still was like, that's not me, and got angry. I'm like, well, don't be mad at me. I didn't write it. I'm just showing you. I'm putting a mirror up. You know what I mean? Putting a mirror up. There's my sister, Deshawn. Hey, Deshawn. She said, I popped in at the right time. Yes, you did, sis. Thank you for joining us all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina on today. And I'm sure you can speak on the subject. We're talking about narcissists and relationships with them. Not only are they, like I said before, not only are they married relationships, boyfriend and girlfriends, we have narcissist friends, girlfriends, it could be your mother, your daughter, your sister, your brother. It could be, you know what I'm saying? I've met people that had parents that had said that they had narcissistic children. That's kind of that's a sticky situation right there. But because is it? Is it genes? Is it a gene? You know what I mean? Like, could that be mom or dad was a narcissist and now baby girl, baby boy is a narcissist? Is it a learned situation? Yes, they are. Oh, you're a victim. Are you a victim, Deshaun? Or are you saying they play the victim? Because we definitely said that. Always, yes, Kesra said they're always the victim. And that's the truth. And and it's hard with people that are empathetic people, empaths per se. It's hard on us. You too, Jay. And y'all relate. Oh my goodness, man. You like, yo, like you said, you sitting there saying, well, the sky looks blue, and they telling you it's purple, and the whole time you're looking like, okay, maybe it is purple because they're good. Like I've dealt with them. Janelle said, don't ever marry one, period. Right. But can they cover it up? Like, can it be something layered that you don't see until later, like years later? You know what I'm saying? Deshaunda said, I know it's so. Wow. I mean, is it something that you see? And of course, now that we know about it, now that we see more of it, we know to run from that, right? We know not to entertain it. Cynthia Adams said they like the attention, but don't want and accept correction because they have to admit, which is right there, they are wrong, and then they have to change. And that's a lot for people who are really narcissists, right? A real narcissist, that's a lot. That's a lot to unpack. That's a lot to admit. And we know one thing, they shift blame, so they're not going to. So what do you do? Woo! I need somebody in on this. My mother, hello. My mother who will be celebrating her birthday on Thursday, Julia Douglas. Very lonely life. No one wants to be around them. It's like walking on eggshells. Right. No one wants to be around them. And then you don't want to be around people that you have to walk on eggshells around, right? So I agree. I agree. Sandy said, I've heard that narcissism is demonic. What are your views, ladies? Jay,
Yes.
I'd say definitely. I've called them demons before. I like a demonic. That's a spirit. That's wicked. I know it's wicked and evil. What you think, Jay? I mean, we're not trying to be too deep, but it's true.
I think so. I mean, the truth, I mean, if anytime that you put something above, God, and I hope that narcissists do, because again, you can say that's wrong. And they're like, no, it's right. You just think it's wrong, but I know it's right because I said so. That is just, when you're around a narcissist, you're never comfortable because all roads point back to them.
Right.
You can go along to get along and it still won't be enough. And so then you end up losing who you are dealing with the narcissist. So that is demonic. That's not, no.
I agree. And I don't know, Cynthia said it is demonic, a way to control and manipulate. This is not of God. Exactly. So I hold that if anyone, just look it up. And if anyone finds themselves with those traits, get help. Janelle said have to have discernment. True. But they're good, Janelle. Like at the beginning, like JT was saying, I think initially they really are good at covering up who they are, making you believe, you know what I'm saying, that who you're with is not a narcissist. They are good. They're good. Deshaun said, definitely demonic. Therapy is great, but some folks just need deliverance from God. Yes, sis. And before you got on, we were definitely saying that deliverance is key. It is because some people, like if you see it on social media, you'll hear a lot of content creators saying, oh, they'll never change, and it kind of like, you don't want to hear that, especially if you're in relation with them, or that's like your best friend, or if it's like a parent, or you don't want to hear that they're never going to change, but anyone can change. It can be delivered from that, but they have to first admit, admission, right? We got to know that we're in an art. We got to know that we need deliverance. And the problem, they will never admit it.
Some people don't want it, T.
Ooh, I guess, but it makes life hard for it makes life hard for others. You know what I'm saying? So if any, like the Casper, I think you're the one that told us that you survived the domestic violence with the narcissist. Did you find yourself having to have therapy or any type of thing, if you don't mind? If girl, if I'm asking too much, don't even answer. But do you feel like after dealing with a narcissist that you needed therapy? Because that was something like, you don't want to carry that into the next relationship, or you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. narcissistic abuse is a real thing, you know what I'm saying? Beyond the domestic part of it, you know what I'm saying? If it's licks involved, that's one thing, but your mental and your psyche, that's a whole different animal. Like, how do you heal? How do you be the one that wasn't a narcissist in this? How are you healing? How are you getting through it?
And listen, we definitely want to hear from y'all in the comments. How do you deal with the narcissist? How do you handle it? And Tanisha asked a great question. Do you need therapy after dealing with a narcissist?
Right, right. Can you see Sandy's comment?
Yes. So
Okay.
Sandy writes, these narcissists chop away at your self-esteem and somehow lead you to believe that you're actually the narcissist. Going back to gaslighting, when
Right.
things don't go their way, they tend to withhold and to start a smear campaign against you. That's abuse.
That's abuse, and it's so true. Oh my goodness, it's so true, and you don't know it until you in it. You're like, wait a minute, you know. And like you said, Sandy, it will chop away at your own self esteem. So I hold that, you know, now that we become more enlightened about it and we see it, and God has enabled us to see what it is, that we start right then and stopping in its tracks. And you know, either separate from that situation or get some help ourselves separately from that, you know, just to be able to deal with them if we're stuck in some type of relationship. 'Cause that's terrible. And the smear campaign is the worst to me. I think that's horrible. I think it's horrible.
You mean when they lie on you?
Yeah, that's pretty much what that means. You know what I'm saying? But once again, taking the spotlight off of them and their sickness, because that's what it is, demonic sickness, and put it on you. You know?
And and so Alonzo Judd said, Sandy, you are very correct.
Yeah.
And so, going back to the smear campaigns, it's like you again, a narcissist will tell a story in such a way that makes people looking at you different. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not what happened. And they're so convincing with being the victim,
Yeah.
and trying to make sure that other people see them as the victim, so that as they're tearing away and tearing you down, when you retaliate, all people see is you retaliating. They never
Yes.
see what happened behind the scenes that caused that reaction.
Right, right. So you are looking like what Sandy said earlier. You're looking like you might be the narcissist. You might be the problem. Because once again, if you're just joining us, narcissists are very convincing, i.e., manipulative, right? So that, like I said, it takes a toll on your psyche. It takes, you know, you really got to be strong. And sometimes you can't even share what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Because people won't you won't believe it. Surviving a narcissist. Deshaun said they're comfortable being the way they are because no one has ever called them on their chaos. Right. That's a good point. That's a good point. Because nobody ever really called them out on it. Can you see Deshaun's?
Yeah, her next comment was, and therapy is very useful and helpful. Thank God for that Jesus covers for those who are in Christ. But talking about the experience is always a good way to rationalize things.
Mm,
And I think that what you said also, about going to therapy, I think that you need to go to therapy. And the reason being is because when people begin to tear away at your psyche, you'll begin to second guess yourself. Like, am I capable? Am I competent? Did I see things the way that I saw them? And then
yes.
again, you begin to chip away. It begins to chip away at the essence of who you are.
Oh,
And then
yes.
you've got to recover from those things, especially because, again, dealing with a narcissist for an extended period of time, when you make a decision that you want to do something different and disengage or disassociate, it takes years to undo the damage that was done,
Yes.
because you went through that damage over years. You don't just heal from that overnight. And sometimes, as I aforementioned, you get lost in what it is. You lose a part of yourself. So
Yes.
you lose what it is that was of interest of you, what it is that you can focus on. Because when somebody's playing those type of emotional and mental mind games with you, it's
Yes.
like your brain is a scrambled egg, and you're like, and your head is on a swivel. You don't know whether you're coming or going. You're just trying to keep up with the events of the day, because again, inadvertently you're catering to a narcissist because you're just trying to keep the peace and get through the day. And so, it's
Right.
overwhelming.
Right. Very good point. Very good point. Cynthia said they eventually reveal their true selves, and accountability is key. Hold them accountable to truth, reality, and a standard. Yeah, you try to do that, especially, and I'm speaking like if it's someone you're really close to, and I mean, sometimes you just have to. I mean, you can do that. You can try to hold them accountable and the truth, the reality, and the standard, but sometimes they just won't receive it, right? Like they
They're
just won't receive.
not.
They won't receive it. So
T, it doesn't match their narrative, right? If what you're saying doesn't align with their narrative, they're never going to receive it. They're a narcissist.
what do you do with them? Line them all up and sit them out here. Alfonso Judd, he said, I'm going through this now. Tell stuff about me I have no idea about or never happened at all. Painting the picture of me like I'm the monster of monsters. Shaking my head. Woo! Mr. Alonzo, I get it. Been there, done that. I'm like, wow, and especially if they say stuff to people that don't really know you on a personal level. So that, it's still putting something in somebody's head, whether it's true or false. It's still painting a narrative, painting a picture of you being that monster for people that may not know you like that. How are you functioning, Mr. Judd, Mr. Alfonso, I'm sorry. How are you functioning, getting through that? How are you dealing with that? If I may ask. If you don't want to have the candid conversation, you can DM me. We'll talk about it later. I want to know. How do you feel? Do you separate yourself from that? Do you just, you know what I'm saying? If it's a relationship, Janet, we started out with this earlier. If it's a marriage, you can't necessarily just walk away. If it's your girlfriends, hey, you can kind of cut those relationships. It's a mother, daughter, father, son, parents get child. How do you know what I'm saying? How do you do it? Sandy said, you can call them out, Deshonda, but narcissists don't possess conviction. They usually deflect. Everything is your fault. Everything. You're better off keeping the peace and not speaking anything. Chances are the smear campaign started behind your back long ago. Girl,
she ain't lying.
Girl, I'm about to send you an offer ringer. Yes. Chances are it started long ago. You the last one to show up to the party because once again, they're very good at what they do. They're good at what they do.
But it goes back to something Janelle said earlier, discernment. You can feel when the room shift and you walk in and you're like, what's up? And you're like, and you feel these daggers coming at you and you're like, well, what happened?
What?
Hey. What did I do? I just got here.
Exactly. Seriously. So you're right, Sandy. You made a very good point. They don't possess conviction. It's almost like they have no empathy. They have, you could be. I almost want to think that they like seeing you hurt and crying. It's almost like it energizes and pumps something in them. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. But some of you therapists out there, y'all tell us. I mean, like, how do you feel? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Yeah. Max said something earlier, and thank you for tuning in, Max. But Max said something, it's about they bond over their childhood trauma. And so, but my thing is, if you know that it's trauma, why would you then deflect that trauma on somebody else? Why do you do that? It's traumatic.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do that? Why allow, other people to be in that? I thought Alfonso said, I thought I was losing my mind at one point. Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's a hard, that's rough. It's rough on the and I'm gonna say the victim and the perpetrator, right? It's hard. And that's why I know that you definitely probably need some type of therapy. You need Jesus. Yes, God knows we do. But get you a God-fearing therapist as well, because after dealing with one, I'm telling you, it could cause sicknesses to your body, even, you know what I'm saying, to your body, and because you're internalizing things and you really like, I'm really dealing with this, they really just smear campaign. Now I have to go chase a lie, they won't want to chase lies. So get some help if you're listening. First First Lady Stone, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for tuning in. She said this is so good. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for being here on Candid Conversations on today. But we want to talk about this narcissism and these narcs and how people survive, and whether they're in your relationship, whether it's in your workplace, or whatever. Get help, I think. Now, again, like I said, I always think you should get help. Janelle said you definitely can feel it. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes, it takes a little while sometimes, but you can definitely feel it. And I think earlier, um, Miss Julia, my mom said it's a lonely life I can imagine it being a lonely life for a narc, someone with narcissism. Hello, Evangelist Tamika. Welcome. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jay.
but going back to what you said about being a lonely life, a narcissist, if you're in a relationship with them, whether it's personally or professionally, they run out of people to traumatize at some point, right? And so that's how you end up by yourself. But ultimately, that's where they want to be because they love themselves above all things and all people. They don't care if they don't care about you. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about the ramifications of what their decisions have on your life. It's
Right.
all about them being served and being self-serving. I think that they lack empathy. They are incapable of loving others, no matter how much they say it with their words. They don't care. And even when they're doing those smear campaigns, yeah, you said you gotta what'd you say, outlive it or outrun a lie.
Try
But
to.
it doesn't negate the fact that it hurts that somebody said these awful things about you that honest to
Right.
goodness are not true, or they're
Right.
out of context because you're dealing with somebody that's throwing a temper tantrum because they didn't get their way.
Ugh, that's horrible. But you're right, Janet. I can't see Alfonso's comment.
So listen, I've known Alfonso almost all my life. Y'all, he makes the best barbecue you ever want to eat. Chicken, pork, turkey, you name it, he can do it. He can cook everything, okay, on any day of the week. We were trying, listen, when my money was all the way up, we gonna get a food truck. But anyway, listen, if you have catering needs, you need to call Alfonso Judd. Listen, they known down here in these Fuquay, Apex, Holly Springs streets for the food. I'm just saying. So
Okay.
listen, even though he's dealing with a narcissist right now, bump that. Y'all need to call him for catering. I love you,
We can
food.
still get the bag. Getting the bag will help him deal with this. So
Yeah,
yes, let's support him. We love to
yeah,
support good food. And
yeah.
yeah, so definitely want to put Alfonso's information in the comments, Jay. You can't put him out there and not put that information in there. So we got
Listen,
you.
put it in the comments, Fuda, because I'm telling y'all want him to. Nobody makes barbecue sauce. I don't care what you've eaten or what you think you've eaten. Ain't nobody making barbecue sauce like him. Real, he got it. You name it, he got it. He can get it for
Mm-hmm.
you. So anyway,
Right.
but I digress. I want to show a little bit of love to my brother because right when you're dealing with a narcissist, you need somebody to encourage you and to remind
Yeah.
you of who you are every now and again. And sometimes it comes at the most, at the best time, especially
That's
when you're
right. That's right.
in the throes of it. And I'll also say people who are on the other end of having to engage with narcissists. You talked about people who are empathetic and we were pointing at one another. But the truth of the matter is, you get the short end of the stick because you're trying to accept what this person said is the truth and going along to get along, but you end up finding yourself carrying weights that you were never designed to carry. You're having to course correct your brand for things that should have never been said because you're dealing with these narcissists. So it's emotionally taxing. It can be physically taxing, like you said. It can take a toll on your health. So dealing with narcissists it's a real thing.
Very good point, Pastor Cedric Thrash. Pastor said we all got a little razzle dazzle narcissistic tendencies in us. Argue with the choir director, not me. Y'all, we sorry, but Cedric is off the chain. But
Yeah.
forget it, Cedric. I said, do we all have a little narcissistic tendencies in us? Just a little sprinkle in us. I'm not saying we don't. Just a bad bit.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. The tendencies part, I think is just human nature, but not to the point where you're like, I've gotta crush you in order to get what I want. No, we ain't
Or
doing
make
all of
yourself
that.
feel
That's
better.
crazy.
Right. Make you little big so they can big up themselves. Right, Kesra. Right. Yeah, Cedric. We can always count on one from Pastor Cedric Trash. But I agree with him a little bit. I think we got a little sprinkle of just a little sprinkle. But people can handle sprinkles more so than anything. I know, right, Tamika? But he's so good. That's why we love having him here. Okay, Alfonso said they want to know all your personal trauma or anything that may have happened to you, right? So they can use it against you at the drop of a dime. Oh my gosh. And you offering to, sir, yes, yes. And this literally, y'all, we're not just talking about this is real life. This really happens. This is real traits of a narcissist. And people are experiencing this like day in, day out. At home, at the workplace, in church, with your day-to-day relationships. People really are experiencing these things. And we find that there's hope. You need to heal even after dealing with the narcissist who may or may not ever get help. May or may not. Because is it built-in personality trait? Is it characteristic? What? So when I looked up how to heal from them, because I've done the studying. One thing they were saying that you have to educate yourself, number one, which is what we've done, and just by having a candid conversation, what we're doing, right? Sharing our education and our experiences. Acknowledge your feelings, set boundaries, seek support, practice self-care. Because, like you said, Janet, I think earlier, you really lose a part of yourself for real because you're really trying to cater to a condition that can't really be catered to. Like it's really you would lose yourself. You'll be unhealthy. It's a lot of things that happen. It says reflect and journal your feelings, rebuild your identity, be patient with yourself, celebrate small wins, consider professional help. That's on the top of the list. Yeah. So and there are resources. So if you feel like you're in a relationship or you're dealing with someone that has those traits or characteristics and things that you really don't want to deal with, get help yourself. Don't lose yourself in it. Don't become so sick and have all these things wrong with you trying to deal with someone who has this sickness, and it is a sickness. Tamika said, bump these narcissistic behaviors. Let's talk food. Going back to the food truck.
Alfonso Judd. Listen, he gonna drop his contact information in these comments. Y'all need to call him now. I'm telling you, I don't care what y'all done ate. You ain't ate nothing till you ate his food. I'm just saying.
His information is gonna be in the comment section because you got me hungry now.
I'm hungry.
Yes, we hungry, Mr. Alfonso.
Come on, Fuda.
Janelle said, put it in the comments.
Come on, we need you to put it in the comments,
honey. But this is a conversation we need to have, though. We definitely need to have this. Tamika said, yes, and the worst kind is a covert narcissist. Yes. 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 I heard someone call someone that yesterday, which is so funny you said that. Yeah, I'm like, wow, they got names and stuff. There's levels to this, y'all.
There are levels.
There's levels to this. So yeah, do the study, but don't lose yourself. Don't, it's no way you can. I don't feel like you can make a narcissist content because they're not content with them within, I think. But you'll lose yourself in it. Tamika said it is a real thing. It is. It is. And I think several people on here right now have dealt with it, is dealing with it, and can speak on it. And that helps other people. That helps other people. And that's what we're here for. And that's what we do, And that's why we're having this candid conversation, even though Tamika, we're going to talk about some food too. Sandy said narcissist trauma bond. Oh, yes, yes. They associate with people who are just like them. Ironically, they are attracted to people who possess the traits that they either don't have or even envy. Oh yeah. I can understand. That's a good point. I can understand that. I get that. I understand that, Sandy. They trauma bond, and y'all know what that means. So be careful. Be careful because everybody wants to be loved and feel loved, and just be careful. And like you said, I think Janelle said it earlier, discernment. Using discernment. Tammy, yes, we all agree. We all agree. Yes. So I hope that you get help, seek help. A cancer said Tamika spoken like a real food. Real foodie. Yes. I don't think Alfonso, what you call him, Fuda? I don't think Fuda put the information in there yet, but it's coming, y'all. It's coming. It's coming. JC, how do you walk away? When is the time? We were talking earlier about relationships, and since we're talking about narcissists and talking about narcissism, when do you
Mm.
just walk away? When do you just leave?
I took a deep breath on that one because sometimes you try to walk away and they won't let you go.
Mm,
They're like, nah, you know, I'm
mm,
with you. And it's like, you tell me everything that I'm not, what I can't do. But then they have a need for you. So you can't really go nowhere because they have a
mm,
need for you. And even if you try to pull back, then it just in that behavior just intensifies. And
mm.
again, I'm talking about personally and professionally. So
Right,
it's a lot. And so you constantly find yourself on this rat race. But at some point, when you get fed up and enough is enough, you have
right.
to set a boundary that enough is enough. I've drawn a line in the sand, and you better not cross this line. And when that
Right.
line is crossed, then you have no choice but to walk away. I also
Mm,
hold that sometimes when you refuse to walk away, life intervenes and walk away you will.
mm. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you can only stand, but so we can only take but so much. Pastor Cedric said, "Confess your faults one to another." I'm scared to keep reading. Let's see. Some just have ongoing traits, and others just have moments. Okay, we can. Okay. The problem is when it becomes your personality.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we're talking about when it becomes who you are because you don't see who you are. Like you got a mirror in front of you. We're telling you, but you constantly pushing that on someone else. I think we talked about it earlier. Gaslighting. I think you know making the other person seem like they're the problem all the time. All the time. Oh, I'm never wrong. That's scary. It's really some way. It's just yeah. Good point, Cedric. I agree. Confess your faults. That to me is hard for most people. I mean, just it's just hard for people to find fault in themselves and to actually speak on it. Alfonso Judge 100% right. Right. They don't. Alfonso said they don't think they need help. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because in their mind, there is nothing wrong with them. There is something wrong with you. That's the gospel. It's a demonic spirit. Yes, I think we all agree with that. I think Sandy asked earlier, do we think it's demonic? I think the answer is clear. It's definitely a demonic, something, definitely not of God. Kesra said they are legends in their own mind. Girl, yes. I, I, I told one that I definitely did. I said, you're a legend in your own mind. And
They
they don't
are.
like it. Yes.
Because they live in the past, right? They don't ever live for the present. It's always what they did. If you listen to a narcissist long enough, they always throw back. They read you their resume, and it's always past tense. It's never anything present tense. And if it is
Mm.
present tense, it's like so. I'm just sorry.
Yeah, you really can't show them. You can't put a mirror in front of them. Cedric said the funny thing is most narcissists don't know that they are narcissists. That narcissistic. Yes, that's what we're saying. That's what I think we all said the same thing. They don't really know that they are. And even if you tell them that, you just learned a new word. No, bruh, sis, cuz this is you. Your picture is beside it in the dictionary. This is you. This is who you are. And you really need to get some help. It's well. It's okay. We're not perfect. Janelle said exactly, Sandy. So yeah, I hold that. Let's see what Sandy said. Kesra Marshall, it is in their own minds. And then we laughing and making light, but let me tell you, Deshaun said, child, it's serious. This thing is real. It's real, Jay. You are their supply. Yes, Tasha, sis. That's what they say. They call it a supply, and they're quick to dismiss. Now we're talking personally. They're quick to dismiss. Here we are, empaths. We're like, how do we deal with them? What do we do? They cut you off, like boom, bye y'all, like you never had a history, like you never was friends, like you never, and they gone on. to the next victim, because that's what it is. Kevin said it's like an octopus holding on its tentacles. Yes, and it's sad. It's sad. But one thing we do know, after and during surviving and dealing with a narcissist, the victim should definitely get help. Definitely not sit in this thing. Definitely know that you're not alone. To hear a male say it is that they're dealing with that is very, enlightening. I can't see Tammy's entire message, Jay. Can you see it?
She writes, if you try to leave or move on from the friendship, then they tend to switch their personality to keep you around. Dealt with someone like this. It's like trickery. I feel like they know what they're doing, but they deny that they're being a narc. It's crazy.
Mm.
That's true.
They tend to switch their personality to keep you. Wow, but it can only last for so long, right? It's gonna come out. It's gonna show. It's gonna peep its head. And sometimes I feel like I could be in denial with people because I'm chance giver, right? So I'm like chance giver. Yes, me. Yes. Crazy, but I'm that person. Cedric said, consider reading a book called "Surrounded by Idiots" by Thomas Erickson. Okay. Let me write that down. Definitely do that. Surrounded. Kezra, you familiar with that book, Kezra? Interesting. I'm definitely gonna look that up. And Tammy, Cedric said 100% facts. They would try to change up who they are just to will you back in again. It's weird because they like new, but I thought they like new supply. So I don't. It's weird. Tammy said you have to make the decision. You're done. Which, when you are in it, your heart is in it. You're in a relationship with them. They're your bestie or your spouse or whomever they are. It's hard, but you really do have to make the decision. You have to choose you, as they say, right? You have to choose you for your sanity, if nothing else. So that's true. And it could be family. It could be family, and that's hard too, right? It's hard because you have to do it for your own mental health. You can love them. Now I understand that thing when people say I love them with a 10-foot. I was like, okay, I get it now. Cause I used to be like, what you talking about? You don't love nobody if you got a 10-foot spoon feeding them or whatever y'all call it. You know how people used to say that, right?
A long wooden spoon or a long handled spoon. Yes.
Right. I get it because a lot of times we experience that in families, in our families as well. And you love them because they're your family, your blood. But at the same time, you gotta keep yourself healthy, mind, body, and soul. I can see Sandy. She said, to the ones who got away, there is hope. I can't see the rest, Jay. Go ahead. You got it.
She writes, don't you live in the past, rejoin society again. Don't remain a recluse. It's okay to come outside. Don't worry about your reputation. Those who know you will have your back when gossip hits their ears, and your true brothers and sisters will always cover you in prayer.
Oh, that's
that
good.
Is so true.
I'm pinning that comment because that's so true. I've dealt with someone before that had narcissist traits, and I tell you, I found myself like I can't let them believe that. No, girl, bye. Sandy, you said a mouthful. People that know you, they know you. Even in the room that you're not in, they have your back. If they're genuinely your people, that's true. I can't see Kezra's.
She's basically amen, Sandy.
Okay. And then I amen that too. Cedric said this conversation making some folks mad. Let's tag all the narcissists. In the comments. I'm just starting. I already started tagging. I already started. What? I'm still tagging this next week.
All they gonna do is say, you say X, Y, and Z, you're a narcissist. No, you're a narcissist. Wait, what? I'm not a narcissist.
Oh God. Oh, there y'all go, foodies. Fuda has put the information up.
Listen, so as I said earlier, we're going to love on our brother who is surviving a narcissist. We certainly are grateful to all of you, our audience. Y'all are the best guests we have. I'm telling you, because y'all get in these comments and y'all keep the show rolling. But again, if y'all want some show enough ribs, chicken, barbecue, smoked, baked, fried, fish, barbecue, turkey, pork, chicken, y'all need to call Alfonso Judd. And his information is right here in the comments. It's on the screen. So, yes, while Pastor Cedric is telling us to tag a narcissist, I'm telling you to tag Alfonso so that y'all can get this good eating that's out of Garner, North Carolina. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, and if you know JT, everybody don't get that kind of acknowledgement when it comes to cooking and food and things of that nature. So if she said it, we can pretty much put a stamp on you, Mr. Alfonso. So we with you, foodie. Fooda. And y'all, we have had a great conversation. To believe that it's already an hour, though, is really tripping me out because, like, this has helped me so much. And some of you all sharing your experiences, that has helped me so much. And I hope that you heard something on here today that has helped you. And thank you so much, Cedric, for putting a book or somewhere, giving somebody a resource. There are other resources out there, guys. Girls and guys, don't just think you're alone in this. Listen. We've all have had some type of experience with some type of narcissist. When you're up close and personal, it's a different animal. And sometimes people don't understand it. Some people don't believe you, but you know what you've experienced. Alfonso say the way folks view them is key to their self-esteem and narcissist ways. Right. They will lie to keep that image looking like gold and diamonds when it's actually all fake. All fake, right. I mean, and if it was somebody that's like a Christian, they're gonna it's gonna be scriptural. They're gonna stay, they're gonna pump that out. They're gonna make you feel like, whoa, they do no wrong. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with you 100%. Sandy said, great podcast, ladies. Very well needed and informative. Thank you so very much, and I appreciate you for sharing and for being here, guys. Oak 93.5 is gonna cut us off in any minute, so we better go ahead and sign out. Well, if you're not listening to us on the radio, we again thank you so much for signing in on Facebook and joining us. And if you're listening to us, like I said, on the radio on Oak 93.5 FM, tune in next Tuesday. We'll be back, Lord willing. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending this last hour with us. We appreciate you. But now we gotta go. Take care, pray, and seek help for yourself if you're dealing with a narcissist. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for Candid Conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show.